This edition of MacVoices is supported by SaneBox. Organize your inbox and never waste time on email again. Sign up today at sanebox.com/MacVoices to save $25 on any subscription. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, this is part 2 of a 2-part MacVoices live conversation. It was open mic night, and boy, the mics were open. The first part got a little bit crazy with discussions of the new iPhone 12s, who was getting them and who wasn't, and why, and accessories, cases, and other accessories that we all might be considering for those iPhones. This time around, 2 more panel members join, and we get into a whole different set of subjects. So here we go. Hang on.
Hello, Guy. So, Frank, what do I need to know about shooting video? Because, I've done it, but not very much, and I want it not to suck. So, what do I need to know?
Oh, I can help you there.
That gets really strange. So many things can change the way you do things. The story, everything's got to evolve around the story.
Okay.
So that's going to decide on your shots. Because depending on what you're doing, you may want to do point of view shots, like I did at MacStock in the chair. That was all point of view.
Right.
It's not that. There's a lot of weird little tricks. For example, let's say you wrote a story, and you want that person to have import. You do an old business trick, which is you set the camera lens just a couple inches below that person's eyes. So you're looking up at them. So it's not an obvious thing, but subconsciously you give more import to that character. Conversely, if you want someone to look down at someone or not feel good about them, you go a little above them, stuff like that.
Okay, so mostly I'm filming boring video that's like, hi, I'm Kelly, and I'm here to tell you about this case or this phone charger or this whatever thing.
Tutorial?
So something way more on the SEO end of the scale than the Atomic Blonde end of the scale.
Oh, well then all you gotta do is some B-roll, just do some headshots of yourself.
Okay.
Glamour shots talking, introducing it. Make sure you show the product. If it happens to be software like they do the tutorials on SEO, you get ScreenFlow.
Yeah.
Do that and you can cut that in.
Okay.
Hey, Kelly.
You just got to practice them.
In a white box.
Yeah. Kelly, I want to spend some of your money, okay? But you need, you have to promise me you will go and buy this book.
Okay.
And I just, excuse me. I put it in the Facebook chat. Let me throw it in the chat over here.
Okay.
Wally.
Probably because if it's a book, I can, a book is a very different thing from you need $300 worth of lights. So yeah, I can probably spring for a book.
You need $300 worth of lights.
I don't need $300 worth of lights.
People, can I get in line?
You need $400 or $500 worth of microphones, like Guy.
Yeah.
You get away cheap things. I'm using a bounce board here, foam core, to fill in the one half of my face.
I use them as Caracas.
I don't run a home for wayward microphones.
I was wondering why you had all those mics.
No, the book
it's after Halloween, so Guy, bring them back, and then just start going, Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.
Those fleas on my dog.
Don't make me... Don't enable him. Mute the mics. Don't make me mute the mics. Kelly, the book I just threw in to the chat is Wally's book.
Okay, hold on. Let me go back.
And that is such a great book because it not only will give you just those little tips and tricks you're looking for, it will expand your horizons on how to look at things and give you a million ideas. And the worst part of that book is that it makes you want to put down everything else and go and try everything. And none of us can afford to do that. But that is just such a great, great book.
Yeah, I own that book. It's good. Wally's just an amazing videographer. He really is.
This be video to go?
Wally's incredible.
Yes, yeah.
I got to talking to him at MacStock. There was one shot he did where they were I believe in India. And the shot was looking down. They were in a cart. Him and Wendy were in the cart. And it was looking down on the wheel of the cart they were in. And they were going down this dirt road. And I asked him, I said, Wally, how could you manage to do that? I mean, Did you Bluetooth so you could frame it or what? And all he did basically was he took a GoPro, stuck his hand out, held it where he thought it should be, and he got the perfect shot. You know, worst case scenario, here's a little trick for you, Kelly.
Yes.
Shoot just a hair wider. If you're not sure if you can see it to frame it, shoot it a little wider, shoot it in 4K, and then you can zoom it in a bit in post.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if you think, Kelly, think of it this way, 4K is 4 1080p blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have that much room to work with.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, I mean, you could theoretically take two 1080p side by sides and, you know, just use it, do it twice in editing and then crop one and then crop the other and have very different shots from the same original shot. That made sense to me. I hope it made sense to you.
More or less, yeah.
Oh, you're the host, so we're going to agree. It makes sense.
Oh, thank you. Jeez, I get so much respect.
Oh,
Guy, we've been talking
thank you,
iPhone
Wally.
12s.
Hold on. Thank you, Wally, for writing a book, for generally being awesome, answering all my goofball questions, because I've asked him some stuff like at MacStock when I was like, I want to do this video, like, you know, kind of what do I need? And he totally helped me out with the MacStock entry I made in the film festival in 2019. And so thank you, Wally. And I just bought your book. So
good.
All right.
Shoot, Guy, we've been talking about iPhone 12s. We wanted to know what your iPhone 12 situation is.
As of yet, I have decided not to get an iPhone 12. I just bought an iPhone SE earlier this year. I traded in my 8 Plus, and honestly, the fact that it has a much better camera would be the only reason to get it. And I don't want to spend $1,000+ on a better camera.
But you have a really awesome camera in the SE that you've got.
Oh, the camera in the camera in the SE is fantastic. It is so much better.
It's literally
I had
last
the
year's
8
camera.
Plus.
It's great.
Yeah, I had the 8
the same thing I did. You went from 8 Plus to SE. That's what I did.
Well, I went from 8 to
me
11 Pro, and the leap is massive.
Yeah. Hey, we want to welcome Mike T. Rose to the show. Mike, thank you.
You snuck in.
But where are the house guests? I thought you were bringing the house guests on.
They're downstairs watching CNN and eating macaroni and cheese, so they're well taken care of.
You couldn't resist.
Somebody doesn't bring us food.
Why macaroni and cheese?
It's comfort food. It's just it's easy. Here? It doesn't require a lot of prep.
If you're watching the election results, you need comfort food. No doubt.
It's a hot meal and also cheese.
There's cheese. There's plenty of bourbon. There's rotisserie chicken. We've of course got the leftover Halloween candy, so I think everybody's well taken care of. But sorry to be showing up late.
Cheese and sugar. That's a good combination.
No food, no bourbon. What's going on here? It's all in the kitchen. I'm sitting here.
I'm sorry.
And it sounds like one serving is to take them up, one serving is to take them down, one serving is to take them sideways. I don't know what to make of it.
You know that famous Jefferson Airplane song. You know, one pill makes you larger, one pill makes you small. Yeah,
go tell Alice.
Go ask Alice.
Go ask Alice when she was just small. Yeah, that's the menu in our house. So, but thank you for welcoming
I always wondered what that song was about.
Really, Kat, did you wonder?
Guy of all people wonders what that song is about.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't grow up in South Florida in the 70s, so what would I know about those things?
Or Northern California, or really anywhere where that might be happening.
Anywhere in the U.S. in the 70s.
I caught some of the first half of the show, and I'm excited for those who are getting 12 Pros or 12 Pro Maxes, which is David and Chuck and Kelly's little clicky stand, which is very impressive. But I bought myself something this week, which is my new AirPods Pro.
Yes.
I'll match it with you, buddy.
Thank you, Woot. Woot has a $194 deal on that right now.
They had a great deal.
Really? What's the regular? What's the regular? $249?
$249, something like that, which is great. But I'd never tried them before. Normally, of course, you buy headphones, you want to try them in the store, you want to get a sense of how they're going to sound. So I was the first sort of day out. I was on the New York City subway wearing these and watching HBO Max. And I was actually watching "I'll Be Gone in the Dark," which is the documentary series about the Golden State Michelle McNamara, the Golden State Killer.
Yeah.
But I did not know that when you have these and you have an app like HBO Max that supports Dolby, the sound will move around.
Yeah. You have the
so there I am sitting
3D sound,
spatial
3D,
audio.
Hey, Brittany. So the spatial sound on the subway was like I'd have the iPad in front of me and I'd turn my head and the sound suddenly is coming from over here. I repeatedly had to take out an AirPod and check to make sure I wasn't playing it on the speakers. It was so weird, and I'd never had that experience before.
I was watching
spatial audio.
Yeah, I was watching The Big Lebowski the other night, and I get freaky. I love to sit and listen to music with my headphones, but close my eyes and get lost. And when I'm watching a movie, I just sort of focus. Well, in The Big Lebowski, because they're in a bowling alley, there's always somebody behind you at a counter. And I was convinced every 5 minutes somebody was breaking into my apartment. I'd stop the film and I'd have to go look.
Yeah, it's too good. You need to degrade my spatial audio and just keep it in front of me.
Yeah.
Don't go to the sides.
Mike, we talked about those on the after show with Mike and Kelly over at aftershowpodcast.com. We talked about the deal on them, and I try. We talked about getting the deal on them, and the more I thought about it, the more I decided I should wait because and then maybe I'm right because we have an event next Tuesday that is going to be one more thing, which I know is going to be laptops, but like maybe there will be more AirPods.
We should talk
I just saw a thing on that, and it's supposedly the AirPod Pros, they're thinking first or second quarter of 21.
Oh, okay.
AirPod Pros 3.
Well, I can wait because
or 2. The other ones are going to be 3.
Also in my review pile, I have this set of headphones that is active noise canceling and THX certified.
Ooh.
So,
hey, before we go farther,
where'd you get those?
Before we go farther, guys,
we'll talk about him as soon as Chuck is done saying what he needs to say.
Yeah, I need to welcome Brittany because she's been here for a few minutes, and you guys won't let her in. So, Brittany, thanks for
we all cheered for Brittany.
They're just used to me being here. It's fine.
Well,
it's whatever.
Yeah, but I don't. She of the furry mic. I mean, we gotta get you in here.
Wait a minute.
It's her furry mic.
Oh, not that. Never mind.
It's the dead kitten. Yes.
Dead cat.
Down, Mike. Down.
The dead
Down,
kitten
boy.
Mike.
Down. Yeah. Man.
Misunderstood.
Hair extensions.
And you thought I was going to be the problem child.
Pardon me.
You remember what happened? You remember what happened the last time? I had to mute everybody to get back control of the show. So.
Okay, that wasn't my fault. That was all Jeff and underpants and whatever else.
No, God, no, let's not go there. Hey, so let's before we run out of show, let's talk about a little bit about the upcoming event because we really don't know anything. There's a lot of people say that they know exactly what's going to happen, and maybe they do, and maybe they don't. But
they don't.
I think the big question is whatever model comes out, would you buy one of the first Silicon Macs off the line?
No, I would not. I'm perfectly happy with what I have, and I'll wait for the second gen. I don't want to jump right in.
I can't even go to Big Sur yet because it's going to completely screw up my my recording.
Oh,
none of my apps
software
will work under Big Sur.
Yeah,
I won't say what the name of the company is, but yeah. It rhymes with Bogue Chromeba.
I know. I got a hold of Paul.
They're releasing them.
And they have been releasing some updates and to give. I mean, let's face it. Probably all of us here, or most of us here, use Rogue Amoeba products.
Oh yeah,
because they are just so freaking awesome. I actually have a couple of YouTube videos on how to integrate loopback and audio hijack into GarageBand or the DAW of your choice and do multi-track audio and all the rest of that. And I could not do what I do today without loopback, without audio hijack, without
Fission.
Farrago.
Fission.
And well, I don't typically use Fission. It's in the toolbox, but I don't typically. I use Hindenburg for actually recording.
Nice.
And
see, I just steal audio from YouTube and other sources, and always cut it. It's hooked right up.
Well, the great thing about Hindenburg is you can have multiple sources onto multiple tracks.
Okay.
You're not like if you're used to using GarageBand, you tell GarageBand, okay, I want you to use this input and I want you to output to this source, and that's all you have. With Hindenburg, you can basically say, okay, I want to use my USB audio interface for this track, and I want to use a USB microphone for this track, and I want to use something else for this track, and you can use all of them, however many you have in your box.
Today's edition of MacVoices is supported by SaneBox, AI for your email. Are you feeling depressed because you can never seem to get to inbox 0? The fact is that you just can't respond to everything, nor should you. You need to see the important stuff first and push the rest to the back for when you have some time to quickly peruse it. Enter SaneBox. SaneBox triages your email, putting the messages you really need to see in your inbox and the rest in their Sane Later folder. But that's not all. If you get a message that you don't want, don't need, and never want to hear from again, drag it to the Sane black hole and it's gone. Period. For good. Or use Sane Reminders to ping you back if someone hasn't replied to an email by a specified date. We all have those emails we really need to hear back about, and Sane Reminders will help you make sure you do. There are lots of features for you to customize how you manage your email. I don't know about you, but more and more unsolicited emails are coming in, more and more marketing emails are coming in, and they get in the way of what needs to get done. That's why I use SaneBox, and I have for years. If you want a heavy-duty weapon in the email war, then visit sanebox.com/MacVoices and get $25 off any of their subscription packages. You will be winning that war in no time. sanebox.com/MacVoices for $25 off any of their subscriptions. Do it now and thank me tomorrow. Thanks to SaneBox for their support of MacVoices.
So you're using Hindenburg for the actual recording and not just to edit after the fact.
No, I use it for the actual recording.
Okay.
And plus it also has you can set up what is that called? I'm losing my mind here, and it's such a short trip. You can have like chapters and it's all just built right into the interface.
Okay.
And go ahead.
I was just going to say, wasn't that originally designed for electronic journalism and for people who are out in the field? So it's got a lot of those sort of real time, edit as you record capabilities sort of baked into it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's got some tools built in so that you can basically do, live streaming back to a studio or, however. Again, you're right. That was exactly what it was originally intended for. Yeah. And I know not just myself, but a lot of people have seen the possibilities with using Hindenburg, and it's such a great editor. Is it perfect? No, but then what is? It's a non-destructive editor. I know a lot of people like to use Audacity because it's free, but you make a mistake in Audacity and you're screwed. There's no going back.
Not forgetting.
I feel like Audacity is an accent in a language that I like. It's English, but it's accented, and I can't quite understand it. And we just keep missing each other. Like, ask Mike. Yeah. Mike can attest to my unbelievable lack of Audacity patience and know-how because I text him and I'm like, I don't know what to do about this. I'm about to turn into my dad and just hit it with a hammer and hope for the best.
Audacity is very much the Linux on the desktop of digital audio workstations because
it burns us precious.
You roll your own.
It has that real open source shine and polish and fit and finish on it that everybody loves.
Is that what that's called? Shine and polish.
Sure. Spit and polish. Yeah.
Okay.
I have to agree with you. Like it's very useful like you can edit a great podcast in Audacity, but you have to be,
sure.
You're sort of putting on the tool as as like a set of powered armor, as opposed to something that works the way you want to and just feels like is it the original Iron Man suit, the Mark I, versus like one of the ones that is nanobot?
It's the one he came out of the cave with.
Yes. Exactly
that's So the flamethrower, to your point about the destructive editing, you have a flamethrower, but once you turn it on, it's very difficult to turn it off. So.
Yeah, if I could give one piece of advice for anybody that likes to use Audacity, it's this: do not use your original source files. Yeah. Make copies and work from copies.
Like whenever I have to edit, which thankfully on Daily Observations isn't very often, but sometimes over on Uncanny Valley, on Greetings from the Uncanny Valley, sometimes I have to do edit. Well, not sometimes. I have to do a lot of editing there because Dawn and I will record for like 2 hours, and I got to take some of that stuff out. But I usually do that in Ferrite on iOS because that's an editor that is a language I can speak. So that's why I was curious about the recording with Hindenburg. I have a license for it, but I've never sat down with it because I just do everything on my iPad in Ferrite with my pencil. And
okay, if you need any help or advice, I've been using it for about 1.5 years or so. So
I will definitely. I want to
reach out. Let me know
more into it and figure that out. So So as far as Apple Silicon, though, back to your original question,
get back
Chuck.
to
We talked about
that what we were talking about?
Yes,
where we started. We talked about that this morning. Now Brittany's. I've broken.
Poor Brittany. Brittany's now. Get her a lozenge.
Well, no, because her and I had this chuckle earlier when Chuck was like, "Who's going to buy Apple Silicon?" Because this morning's daily observations over at MacObserver.com was me as the host sitting with John Martellero and Dave Hamilton and going, "It's going to like." I went to pull the trigger on a new Intel machine, and they told me that I can have one the first week of December. And if I have to wait that long anyway, should I just wait a teeny bit longer and get Silicon? Do I want the first Apple Silicon? Well, really, it's not the first Apple Silicon, Kelly. Like, get with the program. So, like, there was this whole debate that we sort of tried to hash out this morning. And one of the things that we talked about that Dave said he hadn't considered was, what's going to make Apple Silicon appealing to an end user? Not to these people that you see here on the screen before you, but like, and not even the people who listen to us, but people who it's time to get a new computer. You know, I'm going to go down and I'm going to see like there's this MacBook Pro that's 13-inch and there's this MacBook Pro that's 13-inch. And what's going to make give one of them the clear advantage over the other? And is it it's newer? Is it it's faster? Is it it's cheaper? Is it the battery lasts longer? And I'm like, yeah, well, you know, battery life sounds awesome when I can take it places, you know, like when it matters whether or not I can be unplugged, that'll be a different story, but it is not this day. So like right now, I'm still kind of up in the air. I'm basically in a holding pattern until next Tuesday when I find out what's the deal. But I am in the market for a new machine. It's time.
It's only going to matter if it works exactly the same as an Intel machine. And for the people that don't watch this show, the people that aren't on this panel, for the most part, everything that they're going to use a computer for, it's going to work probably. Now, we don't really know, but it will most likely work in the exact same way as an Intel-based Mac computer.
Well, and that was my assessment this morning was if you are a person who generally does all the things that you need to do with your computer and you don't have a lot of problems with it, then you're probably fine. But if you're somebody like me who tends to apparently stride confidently into every available edge case, maybe you might have a hitch here and there. And that's not necessary. See, Mike, I do that on other podcasts too.
It's true.
That's not necessarily like a good thing or a bad thing, but it's a thing to be aware of. Like if you have to troubleshoot stuff on your computer on the regular now, that will likely not change. But if you don't, then you're probably like most people, capital P people, you know, muggles as we used to call them over on the Talkcast, like regular folks who just go get a machine and come home with it and are happy with it. That's fine. And that's awesome. And I'm excited to see where this technology ends up taking Apple. Like, is it going to send battery life through the roof? Is it going to be way easier to get a $900 machine from Apple instead of a $1,200 machine from Apple? Is it going to be just so fast, like the bottleneck is going to be your brain's computing power, not your computer's computing power. Like, where are we going to be headed with this?
Okay, but let's take a look back at some of the transitions. And I know that there are those, there, like Guy, with all due respect, Guy's an edge case. Okay.
In so many ways.
So many ways.
Tell me you have that on business cards, Guy. Tell me. Next week he's showing up. Next week it'll be on his T-shirt.
That's
Guy
gonna
Edge Case Searle.
Get you a new T-shirt.
There you go.
Hold on. Do I have your? I'm updating your nickname in my phone right now.
Okay.
For the most part,
I've been called Bigfoot. I've been called Florida Kid. I'll go with the Edge Case.
Edge Case. But for the most part, if I think back to the Intel transition, and I don't think I'm quite out there like Guy is, but I have enough specialized stuff, and I don't remember that transition being that painful.
It wasn't.
I mean, I may have had to. I may have had to wait a couple weeks for some developers to bring things up to speed, but for the most part, it was pretty darn smooth. And I know that I'll get emails about that. So fine.
Well,
Chuck looks forward to your letters.
I think it was segment dependent. I mean, at the time that it happened, I was supporting pre-press and desktop publishing at a magazine company, and Quark Express was a problem. Like we had to make sure we had enough 68K machines, or the Quadra class and so forth in reserve.
Wait. Are you talking about going Power Mac or going Intel?
I'm going Power Mac. I'm sorry.
68K to PowerPC.
68K to PowerPC was created some challenges then.
That was brutal. That was really hard.
That was early.
And this rocks.
Yeah.
No matter what kind of stuff you were trying to use.
Well, I mean, the bigger problem with that is System 9 was just such garbage that it didn't matter what kind of computer you were running it on, it was going to crash at the worst possible time because that's what System 9 did.
Gather round, kids. The old people have taken a break from Pinochle to tell stories of the olden days.
We have Edge Case.
We have on the bicycle and pedal so we compete.
That's right, the gerbil in the wheel. We have Edge Case over here. We have hashtag System 8.6 for life over here.
755 or bust.
But regarding the Intel transition, thank you for pulling me forward. The better part of a decade. That there were fewer, real performance gotchas. Rosetta, as a rule, as a technology, emulated very well, and there were far fewer apps that simply wouldn't perform or wouldn't work. I think that we are looking at a world now, to Guy's point, where most of the mainstream applications are going to be just fine because they're already using the frameworks that are going to be available on Apple Silicon. There are some apps that won't work, and that's going to be a challenge. But think about what what mainstream users do. If your browser is working, your machine is productive. I mean, you've just bought an expensive Chromebook, but that's okay because you can get a lot done in that scenario.
But it's not going to crash or anything like that. Yeah, like it feels like and I could be remembering poorly. I have been drinking. It seems like the issues around the Intel transition were Apple messing with stuff in the operating system, because that was like 10.6, 10, maybe 10.7, like
Tiger,
10.5, like Tiger,
10.4, 10.5,
yeah, like 10.4, 10.5, and it was Apple mucking around with audio nonsense that caused everybody to be like, I record a podcast, I'm not upgrading to this anytime soon, because Apple goofed up the thing with the stuff, and now nobody can get audio out of their computers anymore, whatever it was. Like, I remember that being bad because, Mike, we were on the uptake at TUA, and you were like, and I don't remember what operating system it was, but I remember you being like, if you want to keep recording the show, you don't upgrade, because right now everything that you could possibly use in order to record is going to not work. So that's what I remember, and that sort of happened like hot on the heels of the Intel transition. So there were like, but it wasn't the Intel transition that was causing the trouble. It was Apple mucking around with core audio and stuff under the hood that was causing difficulty.
But there was a little bit more than that, because you also had the very first Intel Macs were Core Solo machines. And they really were kind of, for Intel machines, dog slow.
They were slow.
And the fact that you were adding in an emulation layer to a PowerPC framework just didn't do it any favors at all. Right. And it really wasn't until, I think, what was 10.6, 10.7? What were those OSs called? I can't remember now.
Lion?
Especially 10.7. 10.7 was
Lion.
Okay.
Yeah.
When Lion came out, because
Snow Leopard?
Snow Leopard was kind of like the let's try to fix all the crap that got broken with Leopard.
Right. The bolt tightening. Yes.
Yeah. And Lion was kind of like, okay, well, we fixed most of the crap. Pretty much everybody is on Intel machines now, or at least are planning to update to Intel machines. Yeah. And little by little, over the course of 1 to 3 operating systems, they brought the entire code base, like I know anything about code, but they brought the entire code base to the Intel platform. And it was less and less about emulation and more about just running apps natively in x86. And the difference is Apple has laid the groundwork here for the transition between Intel. Right, between the transition between Intel and ARM. And leave me alone, stupid phone. I think that they have laid the groundwork, and that I'm getting some kind of weird robocall right now. That
who's calling me? Okay.
My bank. Why is my bank calling me at 9:00 at night? They've laid the groundwork. I keep getting distracted. How does that happen to me? They've laid the groundwork.
Guy, but what I want to do is ask Brittany about her question, because I'm sure she's got something to say on this.
Okay, well, that was basically it. I think Apple is ready for the transition to ARM, and it's going to be much more seamless than what we've had before.
Brittany's here?
Okay, yeah. Brittany, if I have to, I will mute their mics, because I do have that power. So
I'm sorry, I don't have anything to contribute to the other part because I've only owned Intel Macs. But I had a loved one approach me today with no idea that there's an event next week and said, so I want to get other loved one a Mac for Christmas. I can't afford, something brand new or top of the line, like gave me a price range and said, will you help me pick one out? This is somebody who will hold on, never owned a Mac before. Their current really crappy PC is like 10 years old.
Oof. I just went through this with someone.
Right.
No, I'm just trying to
do I want to ask them to be a beta tester, or do I want them to have a computer that I know will still be supported for 10 years, which I don't believe in Intel will.
No, it won't be. However,
5 maybe.
5,
maybe.
Realistically,
you can get a perfectly serviceable used Mac, 2015 and up, from like Otherworld Computing or some of the other companies out there. Because
Apple.
I won't go much past that, because he needs to have a keyboard that will work. So, and I'm considering refurbish, and I did a little investigating, but I really am watching next week to say, like, am I willing to chip in an extra $300 to make sure that they have one that lasts longer?
Right. Brittany, we can chat. I can help you with this.
Yeah, but Brittany, I don't think there's anything wrong with 10 years to get out of a computer in today's environment.
Yeah.
Actually, it has never been easier, Chuck. In today's nothing. Like, people's main computers are right here.
Okay.
Everybody's other computers, PC or Mac, they last way longer because they just don't get the mileage they used to.
Well, I'm not thinking, pardon me, I'm not thinking as much about the mileage or anything breaking. I'm more thinking about just the software upgrades, frankly, the security upgrades that you have to do. And the fact that, if you try to run a website in today's, let's take Amazon, let's take CNN, let's take Netflix, let's take any of those. Try to run that on a 10-year-old machine, it's going to be, I'm not even sure it'll load, but it's going to be a hard.
They load. I've seen it. It's painful, but they load.
Yeah, but
also,
I guess my point is that you're going to ask somebody to drive a Model A Ford at Indianapolis,
I'm not asking to do anything. I don't want to hear it when it's not supported and there's no more security patches.
Send them to Don.
That's fair.
No, I'm serious. Like by getting an Apple Silicon, are they more likely to still be getting security updates longer?
Yes. I mean, if you're sorry, go ahead, Brittany. No. I was just going to say, if your objective is to put something in their hands that will be current more 5 years plus from now,
future proof,
buy them the new architecture. That's a no-brainer. The short-term pain of whatever isn't working or whatever's funky will be
change.
You will be between the 3 and 6 year mark. You're going to have a much easier time of it than if they buy an Intel Mac today
now and try to get to year 6 on it. Otherwise,
and that's what I've been thinking. But to answer your early question, Chuck, a year ago you said, if you asked, are you going to get the first Apple Silicon? Absolutely not. And I do not have those brave words now.
Well, that's.
I mean,
Chuck, it
looks so pretty and tempting.
Yeah, Mike.
Chuck, I'll buy one with your money. Like I wouldn't. I'm not going to spend my money on it.
Well, don't forget that. Don't forget that.
Sir.
Yeah, don't forget that $1.25 support I'm giving you and Kelly on the.
I appreciate it on the Patreon. That's our non-Patreon.
Exactly.
You can make a quarter out of it.
We have a Patreon.
He's not really on our Patreon. he likes the credit. He likes the affirmation of the people by supporting us.
Well, that's why I pay him, so I get to see my name on the broadcast. Then
did we say hi to Chuck on the last? Did we say hi to Chuck on the last after show? I don't think we did.
That's why he's only doing $1.25.
That's why he's giving us right now.
The point is that I like. There's nothing that I have that is so broken or so in immediate need of replacement that I need a new computer. And so, as much as I would like one, like if I were replacing it for somebody in my family, I might think about it. But it's not. It's not bubbling to the top of the priority list. That said, what I do need is a replacement for this Thunderbolt display that refuses to turn on, but Apple Silicon doesn't solve that for me. I mean, in a world where I needed a computer, I would buy it. I'm not in a world where I need a computer.
I am, and that's the problem.
Kelly is.
Yeah.
Guys, we're over time, and I hate to cut this off, but I'm going to.
Let me show you it.
Wait, Brittany's got another half hour.
It's crazy. If we go another half hour,
go off the rails, Chuck.
Yeah, well, it's been off the rails since we started, Guy.
Did you even give them rails, Chuck? Did you give them rails? You can't complain about off the rails if you didn't even give them rails.
We've been railing since the start.
He started out saying it's open mic, I'm over here, hard-hearted harbinger of haggis,
What?
Haggis? Never mind.
Let's go.
So I married an axe murderer. He was a beat poet, and he did this poem to get the girlfriend back. And Harriet.
Fair enough.
Hard-hearted harbinger of.
Gosh, you know that whole thing.
Of course I do. I love that movie. Yes.
Guys, stop or I'm muting you. We're going to go around the room, let everybody know where they can find you, and then they can go to your shows. And I don't know why they would go, but so. Let's go, and then we'll do it all based on my screen. Mr. Ginsburg.
It's you'll find me at In Touch with iOS at intouchwithios.com, and Chuck's going to be speaking at my Apple user group on Saturday. I can't wait for him to talk about our stuff as well. And Twitter, I'm at DaveG65.
Great, thank you, David. Thank you.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you in the group Saturday.
Yeah, me too.
Mr. Petrie.
Social media, F. Petrie. I'm on Screencasts Online. Once a month I do an article. I have my ympnow.com account. And if you can't find me there, I'm usually cutting Chuck's lawn.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you. The lady who we will no longer allow to have cherried bourbon or bourbon cherried or cherries or whatever on the show, Ms. Kelly Guimont.
Okay, first of all, I was not the problem here.
Oh, it's another half hour.
Number one.
Yeah, here's another half hour.
Number two. Get comfy because it's a long list. So you can hear me 5 mornings a week doing the Mac Observer Daily Observations podcast over at the Mac Observer. You can hear me on the after show with Mike and Kelly that I do with Mike, who's just over there, at aftershowpodcast.com. I have a show with Don Melton about the TV series Westworld, and that is called Greetings from the Uncanny Valley. You can find that over at theincomparable.com. You can also find me on other shows at The Incomparable, and yesterday I recorded a future version of Systematic with Brett Terpstra, so you can find me there too. Yeah. And if you still are not done listening to me talk, you can find me on Twitter as Verso.
Perfect. Thank you, Kelly. Great to have you as always. Mr. Guy Serle, the guy that was holding a cat for part of the show. In case
I know. Well, Jelly just loves me. That's my cat, Jelly.
That was the living cat.
You've got the mymac.com podcast I've been doing for 12 years with Gazmaz. You can find that at mymac.com. And, of course, in the podcatcher of your choice, the Mac to the Future livecast that I do with David Ginsburg and Warren Sklar at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over there on the Books of Face. There's also the Guy's Daily Drive show that I don't do every day, but I am driving, so 2 out of 3 isn't bad. You can find that occasionally on Facebook and, of course, at Guy's Daily Drive, if you look that up in the podcatcher of your choice. I am Mac Parrot and Vert Shark over there on the Twitters. You can find most of my stuff either at mymac.com or at vertshark.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Guy, for stopping by. Always a pleasure.
Sure.
Mike, I know you have to go back.
With a straight face.
Yeah. Mike, we have to send you back to your house guests pretty soon because they will be, I don't know. I'm still working on the whole menu that
mac and cheese.
But yeah, well,
I had very little input. I just was told what was happening and I had to show up. So
okay.
That's how it works in my house. You can find me on the after show with Mike and Kelly at aftershowpodcast.com, the aforementioned after show. You can find me every so often on Ken Ray's In a Few Minutes, which is his sideshow. That didn't come out right. But his adjacent program to macOS Ken. And that's companion show to macOS Ken. So that's at macosken.com. And you can find me on Twitter at Mike T. Rose.
Great. This is the sideshow. Ken's show is calm and focused. This is the sideshow right here. Last but absolutely not least, she always gets here just a little bit late because she has other obligations, but she comes and joins us anyway. So, Brittany, thank you so much for showing up. God knows what kind of analysis you do on this group.
Correct.
I know. So if this is the sideshow, do I need a bone in my hair?
If you want a bone in your hair, to go bones in our hair.
I feel you,
and lots
Brittany.
of them, Chuck. I do lots of them.
What you did there, I see it. You know I do.
Yeah. Sorry, did you ask a question?
Yes. Someone from the actual Simpsons Springfield is going to obviously make the Simpsons reference. That's all I'm saying.
This is the part where you get to talk.
Brittany, where can the people find you?
You can find me hiding under a rock for the rest of the week. And by that, I mean I will be at the Virtual International Conference on ADHD, which is a big deal in my world. And then next week, I'll watch the new thing and decide if I'm going to buy new Macs. On Twitter, I am ADD Liberator.
Great.
That's good enough.
Okay. Well, you have YouTube tips too. And folks, I'll have links in the show notes for everybody and everything they mentioned so that you can find those easily because they really are worth following. They get a little crazy when they're all here together, but they're a lot of good people. This is Mac Voices Live again. We do this every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We will do a show next week because it'll be only a few hours after the Apple announcements, whatever they are, Silicon Macs or not, or more. So please come and join us then. And also, please be safe out there as the next couple of days. And with the COVID situation in the U.S., with the election situation, we want everybody healthy, happy, and right back here next Tuesday on Mac Voices Live. Until the next time, and as always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with Mac Voices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. you will join these fine people who help bring you MacVoices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.